But yeah, dog, listen, I always been kind of crunk. Have I, Larry?
Yeah.
I think I always been kind of crunk.
No way in the world this shit just started yesterday.
Nah, yeah.
It's a lifetime.
He's always been the talk one, and I always been the just.
I figured that out when we first was over there with Bono.
You know,
and I was just looking at both y'all dynamic. I was like, I see it completely. That was me and my cousin Reese. Like y'all, like I'm more like you.
Yeah.
And you more like my cousin Reese, and just it just works.
I'm gonna tell you though. Welcome, everybody, man. Real men, real stories, motherfucking live. ATL, 8 a.m., 8 p.m. If anybody was on my Instagram live and they checking me out now, God bless you. I'm gonna pray for you, and I'm gonna give you a Christmas card. I don't give a fuck how many of y'all you gonna get a Christmas card for your brother at the end of the year, man. I'm Lee Johnson. This is episode 11, Real Men, Real Stories podcast. I got my main man, my main mellow man, Larry, Mr. Professor, man. Go on and say something to these motherfuckers, man.
Good evening, everybody. I hope everybody enjoying their evening, and thank God tomorrow is Friday. So enjoy your weekend also.
Man. Today we got a lot of hot topics, but you know what I'm saying? I feel my juices flowing. I feel everything flowing because I'm feeling so fucking Atlanta today. I'm talking about Andrew Jackson when he was alive. Is he still alive? Alive, Andrew Jackson, or dead, Atlanta. I'm talking about Shirley Frank in Atlanta. I'm talking about Maynard Jackson, Atlanta. Hold on. What was that guy that was running around in Piedmont Park and he was getting some head? Which man that was? Vernon?
I thought that was a sheriff.
Was it a sheriff? Yeah, it was a sheriff, but it can't. I'm feeling that Atlanta. Butt naked running around Piedmont Park in 1997 Atlanta. We talking about real motherfucking Atlanta, man. Welcome to the Real Men, Real Stories podcast, man. We're going to have somebody else joining us in a little bit. She's late, but it's all good. She had to take the kiddies home, man. Today, we got a couple of topics we're going to talk about, man. First thing I want to talk about, man, I want everybody to give a little moments of silence for my man, Rich Homie Quan. I heard just passed. Maybe just a couple of hours ago. I'm not sure if it was an overdose or anything like that, but I want to send my blessings and to his family. I'm sorry. He was a great Atlanta rapper. I loved his music. I just loved who he was and the kind of person he was. You know what I'm saying? So everybody, peace and love. Little moment of silence for Rich Homie Quan. All right, man. So shout out, we love Rich Homie Quan, man. A lot of things been going on in the world today, man. But the first thing I really want to touch on is the Appalachian high school shooting that happened yesterday. Gonna talk about the actual suspect, the actual shooter. I got some of my homies in here. I want to see what they think about it. We're gonna talk about different aspects of it and just, you know what I'm saying, condolences to the family and everything like that. And could this shooting actually be prevented? And the reason I'm saying could the shooting actually be prevented, in 2023, the FBI received a bunch of reports about somebody threatening to shoot up a school. They sent them a lot of shots of guns and rifles and stuff like that. So the FBI, with their navigation services, they narrowed it down to Georgia. So they called down to the FBI in Atlanta, and the FBI in Atlanta narrowed it down to Weiner County. So they actually went to the house of Colton and his father, Colin. Colton at the time was actually 13. Their last name is really difficult. Anybody know how to pronounce their last name? What was it? Hemigus or Humi? We'll get it together. The last name is pretty difficult. But when they went to the house and did the investigation, the father said all the guns are out of reach for children. His children's safe. So his child cannot get to the gun without a parental supervision. And then the kid said, I did not send any of them snapshots, any of them pictures. So the FBI they had no evidence. They couldn't do anything about it. So they left it alone. I don't know if it was that year to the day later. This young man is sitting in algebra class. He decides to get up and leaves. And then when he returns with an AR series weapon. Now, in Georgia high schools, as soon as the doors are supposed to remain locked. So the teacher in Georgia high school is supposed to have the doors locked at all times. So when you leave out, the door's automatically going to lock behind you because the teacher got the key to lock the door. And that was the situation. So when this young man tried to get back into the classroom, one of his fellow students, when she opened the door, she backed away from the door. She would not let him in, possibly because she seen a weapon or possibly heard somebody. I'm not going to speculate, but somewhere in that line. And he turned around and shot into the classroom on the right. Now, I don't know if the door was unlocked or wasn't open or did he go in, but that's when he killed the first victim, was one of the teachers and artistic student. And the artistic student actually name was Mason. What was his name? That's in this. Actual name was Mason. Yeah, what's his name? I thought I'd written it down.
Mason Schermerhorn.
Mason Schermerhorn. Yeah, Mason Schermerhorn. And I think the other victims I thought I had them written down. I don't know what happened to him, man. Well, he ended up killing 2 teachers and killing 3 students and wounded 9 other people.
Wow.
The sheriff came and stated that everybody in the hospital is going to survive. Nobody's going to die. Everybody's going to survive. And condolences out to the teachers and the students, things of that nature.
And that would be the same.
So, but no, I haven't heard of the reasoning of why he did the shooting. All we basically know is information is the ATF and the GBI and the FBI immediately after the shooting went to Colin, which is Colton's father's house, and they confiscated several rifles leaving his house. Now, I don't know if the rifles are just laying around or were they in a safe place. That wasn't nullified. That hasn't been reported, but they have confiscated several rifles. Now, the funny thing about it is Colton's aunt has been having some strong Facebook and some strong Twitter fingers. And
Some strong Twitter fingers.
Man, she has some strong Twitter fingers, man. The aunt talks about things she's seen in the home about the shooting. The aunt told a story about her sister tying up their mother in the house for anger purse. She was angry about something, but he said she was a meth or drug-induced fit she had. Tied her mother up in the house and threatened to kill the oldest son, the actual shooter, to get revenge on her mother. For some reason, we don't know. You got people writing in Facebook is kind of fugazi. You know what I'm saying? Kids, some of the writing, because people talking messages and talking codes and everything like that. So the aunt posted, they're charging my 14-year-old nephew with murder. Are y'all ready to see the Paw Hamas? Blood that falls full throttle. So I guess what I gather from that comment is basically she's talking about whatever issues they had within the family. And also she's had a statement that her nephew has seen far worse in his life, in his house, in the family. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if the mother and the father was together. Apparently the son lived with the father, and they don't say the mother and the father lived together. But the funny thing about it, and this is where I want everybody to chime in. I want to ask some questions to y'all, man. When the police ran up on him and they met each other, he gave up immediately. They didn't kill him. I don't know exactly what happened, but he gave up immediately. And he's arrested. You know what I'm saying? He's one of the few that survived, that didn't get either killed or didn't kill himself. The question I want to ask everybody in the room is, do you think that would have been different if it was another color or another race?
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? Or even another sex.
As soon as you said he gave up and they just arrested him, right then I said, oh, I know he was somebody. I didn't even see it on the news because I was too busy working. So it's my first time hearing about it, talking about it now.
Yeah.
But as soon as you start saying that thing, I was like, we had to be white because that was one of us. Oh, you would have been shot.
So what you think? What y'all brothers think back there? Do you think it would have been a different thing? It was somebody different, or do you think it would have been the same result?
Honestly, I'm rebelling I'm rebelling knowing the fact that nothing's absolute. But it's like, jeez. It's like it's a pattern that just never breaks. It's like I want to say, nah, it could have been if it was a black kid, they might have, and he gave up. They might have let him. I want to say that. I'm just being honest. I want to say that, but damn, history has not proven me right. And it's just
has there been a research that I was looking up and I couldn't find anything? Has there been a similar school shooting in a predominantly black school? Not any gang violence, just a hate.
Nah, I think I ain't do no goddamn research, but something in my gut says hell to the no. Something in my gut says that shit generally happens outside of the school. Yeah. And if it does happen inside of the school, generally it's like they got one kid.
Yeah, it's target. It's usually not they're going to shoot up the whole school.
That's our problem.
It's the targeted person they're going after.
Right. You gotta remember, like, we've got two different problems. Like, gang violence is black people problem. Crazy white boy is white people problem. So you know what I mean? We reflect our dysfunction differently. Yes. So we know which one's our problem, and then we get surprised whenever our problem is their problem, or vice versa.
Prime example, like the DC sniper.
I was about to say.
Found out he was actually black. I just knew he was white.
I think all he did was motivate a whole bunch of niggas to start learning how to be a sniper. Because ever since then, I see more and more black men who can shoot. And they're not even prior military. They just love the art of shooting, and they know how to break down guns, and they be hitting targets. And these are just regular dudes.
Yeah.
I think the DC sniper might have did like, listen, dude, if you want to.
So let me ask y'all a question. If the FBI, they actually went to his house and had to have a discussion with him because of some threats a year prior, do you feel like they dropped the ball, or do you feel like they did their job?
I feel like, depending on the personality of the person who has the case, is going to give you the outcome of what possibilities could happen or could not happen. So professionalism, individual professionalism, isn't broadband across the whole spectrum. Like, there's people that suck at their job. Actually, there's a lot of people that suck at their job.
Yes.
That's one of the reasons in America we complain because customer service sucks, because most people don't really put a huge effort into their job. That will permeate through the police department. That will permeate through. So just because you're a detective doesn't mean that you're a great detective. Exactly. But they only show us like the best detectives on television, so we think all detectives are like Sherlock Holmes.
Yes, exactly.
And it's not the case. So, yeah, I mean, it happens. It's human error. Like, it's just human error.
Yeah. So I got the names of the victims. You got Mason Schermerhorn, 14. You have Christian Angelo, 14. And you have Christiana Emery, which is a teacher, and you have Richard Aspinwall, which is a teacher. So those are some of the victims. Those are the victims that was actually killed by. So we give our condolences and prayers out to those families.
Man,
hell, I give prayer out for that young boy, Colt Gray. I was listening to a guy online. Then what really makes me mad is he talking about, because the kid clearly was abused in the household. You know what I'm saying? There was his, what is it said? His mother posted saying that her husband's first thoughts was, from my husband's first memory, all he knew was abuse. He got his arm broke when he was 8 in his sleep. And he got busted in the head with a bar stool when he was a kid. She says when she grows up, she still feels that all the time. You know what I'm saying? And then she posted herself in 2022 about a domestic abuse for the past 13 years.
Okay, well, my question is, if his parents are the ones abusing him, why are you going to the school shooting up people? Shoot the people that abuse you.
Because I don't know if the situation.
It's not how it's projected.
Yeah, and that might not have been. They might not have been abusing him. He might have just been seeing him abusing other. I mean, I don't know this because I haven't heard of the interview with the kid, but the mother and the aunt got Twitter fingers, like a mug, like the aunt. She she immediately posted that she'll talk to the FBI, the GBI. Like she immediately posted that on the Facebook
she
page.
probably knew dude was off his hinges early.
Yeah.
There wasn't nobody doing nothing about it. They didn't know really what to do about it.
Exactly. She did state something. She did state that they was having a lot of issues in the home and that they need to pay attention to all the stuff that he's seen for the past 13 or 14 years.
Let me tell you something.
You know what I'm saying?
When I tell you, being in the space of mental health for over 2 decades, for close to 2 decades, and sitting down with the families and with the parents and the children and hearing the level of stress and dysfunction that people just live through every single day, and it's heartbreaking and bananas. So stuff like this, man, no matter what you think, it may not even be horrible enough to really understand what that brain was going through when he decided to shoot up somebody.
Yeah.
Like, nobody really knows because nobody pays attention to it before the big kaboom.
Thank you.
Or if they do, and sometimes they do because they end up in offices with therapists, which I work with a Black male therapist, and that's the process as well. Like, there's a lot of kids that came through that were in therapy, court appointed. There's a lot of kids that get snatched up and sent through the system because they on some wild stuff. And I'll be like, some wild stuff. Yeah. And you're like, how old are you? So you're seeing one of so many. And when you look at, if we just take some time to look at really all of our cuts and bruises as a society, we'll find that there's a whole lot more potential of this than we really think. And we're actually doing our best to get a hang of it.
And I want to ask y'all a question. Do you think do you think it's an obvious thing for a parent to be able to spot that in their child, that they'll go shoot something up? Do you think that's because that's what you hear a lot? Well, a parent would know, and every parent swearing to God that they personally would know. Do you think that's an obvious thing, or do you think it's
I'm gonna say it's not an obvious thing because you grew up, you saw how I grew up, you saw how I did whatever the hell I.
Everybody grew up like that.
You think that my parents knew what the hell?
Hell no. And that's what I be trying to talk to. I said, listen, and then I try to explain to people, man, most of the time you walking around with your representative on your face.
Right.
Your real person, you spend limited time with that in your life. Half the time, if you got a job 8 hours a day, and you done kept it for a long time, you've been working your representative for a long time. Because if that real person came out, you'd be job hopping. You understand what I'm saying? So we know who's real on the job is y'all job hoppers. You know what I'm saying? That's keeping it real. What goes bad, but you know what I'm saying? But that's what I be trying to tell people. Like that's your representative. So how can you tell? Like, do you think the Menendez parents knew that their sons was going to stab them up? They would have probably locked them up in the cage if they knew. All the parents that got murdered by their kids in their sleep with an unlocked door in the knife drawer. Didn't think their kids was gonna stab them up,
and that's not necessarily true, man.
Okay, so all right,
it's not necessarily true. Like I've had, again, I've sat in rooms with parents that they have nothing. They don't know what else to do. Like they're within their understanding and awareness of life and their education level, what they've been exposed to, what they know is real. Like that's why they're sitting in front of us. They're like, tell me what to do because I'm fresh out of ideas and I have to live this life of, I don't know what to do, but at the same time, the parent in me won't give up. And so therefore it's like, I don't know what to do, but I can't just be like, yo, I'm turning your ass into the police, or I'm just going to act like you're not a part of my existence.
But do they feel threatened though? But do they feel threatened by their children?
Yeah, there's some do. Absolutely.
No, bro, it's a lot, bro. It's like, you remember that young dude that died at the underground? I want to say like last year, the mother called the cops like a week or two prior. It was like a 13-year-old.
I remember that. Yeah,
like a 13-year-old.
Yeah.
Like, he was like just outside, you know what I mean, doing
whatever.
crazy activities, you know what I'm saying?
And they'll be knowing what to do.
And he got shot.
Yeah.
He was in the streets on some late night shit.
And his mother felt bad that she kicked him out or something like that.
It probably wasn't even that.
She tried. She tried.
She tried. She tried.
She reached out to the cops.
Out on his own.
Yeah, like, but I'm just trying to tell you, like, these kids, man, the level of stress that they're under, regardless how we're going to justify where the stress comes from, the level of stress that they're under, that they're reacting and they're making decisions from, could be so, like, overwhelming that you just, another person or many people are just like, I don't know how to strategize around this type of person. You say chaotic. And that takes some expertise to figure. That's what soft sciences are. Sociology, psychology. It's figuring out all these intricate things about personalities and how do you incubate them without just like throwing them in a nut house and destroying them. And so, and it takes really good people who are good at their job to figure this stuff out. But just like I said with the police,
they don't have that.
Just because you're a therapist or a mental health professional doesn't mean you're good at your job. And that shows how good they are based off of how many people are still struggling.
It's the impact.
So do you think these kids have it worse because of social media? You think these kids got it worse because of social media? Or do you think because like remember with us, you can get beat up and nobody knew about it. Yeah. Because ain't nobody recorded. But if you can get knocked out in public and have 50 cameras on you and the whole world seeing you get knocked out, that's a different type of pressure, man. That ain't the same pressure we was going through. We wasn't going through constant cameras going on. You could almost do what you want to do like that in a way. Like you could mess around with that. You could be out in public with that chick that you wouldn't be out with because ain't nobody taking pictures like that back then. There's no social media. Wouldn't nobody ever know. But nowadays, you can't do none of that.
Yeah, sure no can.
You know what I'm saying? If you got any type of name, any type of clout, but you got to stay your ass at home.
Hey, it's to the point that AI is even catching people now. Like it's been 2 people been arrested off cold cases because of the help of AI forensics. Yeah. So you can't, like I said, you can't have nothing.
Yeah. And you know what another crazy thing is? It's a security in school. So remember, they didn't lock the doors when we was in school.
Oh, they did. We didn't
but
even have
it's mandatory. They lock all perimeter doors in schools now. All the doors are locked.
You was in school before, like probably a few years before me,
before
right?
all that, And I graduated in 95. He 94.
Yeah. Back when I was in school, only thing they was worried about is us having our beepers on us.
Oh man, I remember one time I was in front of the teacher and somebody hit me up on the pager and it scared the shit out of me. It was like, oh shit, I jumped while I'm talking to her. Right in front of her desk, I jumped. I said, damn, she gonna take my damn pager. Yep. What's wrong, Lee? I said, I itch or some shit like that. I got out of that shit. Cause that chick had a drawer full of pages. Like you open up that lady, she was one of them teachers that take your pages and won't give it back to you till the end of the year.
And they have a whole
drawer locked in. You want to get in that drawer? I got all y'all niggas' pages. What's up? How much you want your pager back for?
Be hurt.
You know what I'm saying? Trying to break into a drawer. I remember one time somebody in school they stole a test, man, and gave everybody the answers to the test, and everybody got 100.
They was like, what the hell?
What the hell these dumbass niggas doing? They were like, that dumbass at least. I said, well, I got like a 98. Shit. The fuck? You know what I'm saying? You might be stupid because you can get 100. Like,
you need at least 1 or 2.
All right, man. So that's the discussion we got going on for the school shooters, man. We're gonna give the condolences to the school shooters' families and things of that nature, man. We're gonna I don't know, man. I hope his father was locking them guns up, and I'm gonna give out the condolences to that young man that actually did the shooting, man. He's about to go through some life-changing shit. You know what I'm saying? For the rest of his life, man. So it's finna be a long, hard road for him, man. And I pray for him. And I pray for his family.
Crazy.
Yeah. But hey, he got that old school Justin Bieber shit, though. You know what I'm saying? That long blonde shit. You know what I'm saying? That long blonde shit. All right, so we gonna move on, man. We're gonna shoot the politics, man. Next week on the 10th is the first, and I don't know, might be the only presidential debate between Miss VP Kamala Harris and President Trump. Their platforms are very interesting. And I'm going to just give some viewpoints. Their platforms, we're going to start with Kamala. What her base platform is what she's trying to mainly get elected for. She's saying she's pro-choice. Who gives a fuck if you're pro-choice? It's too late to be pro-choice now. When Obama was in office, he didn't do the pro-choice bill. He didn't do, what was it, the human rights bill that would have stopped it. And he had the House and the Senate. And that was one of his platforms to get elected. And he didn't do that shit at all. So that's why you have that case overturning another case in all these states. It's taking away women's rights away from them right now. There's nothing she can do about that shit. Because I don't think the Democrats have the House or the Senate. I think they just got hurt. So with her getting any human rights bill passed is far and fetched. And it's not going to happen in 4 years. So that's something she's promising that she cannot do. Her idea of lowering the housing market is she wants to buy up more houses. That'll lower the interest rate of the housing market. That shit sounds stupid as fuck. Where are you going to get the money to buy all these houses from? And how many houses do you plan on buying? So you basically talking about buying so many houses that they got to lower the prices because every motherfucker in the world is in a house. And that is not possible in a capitalistic society. So that's another thing she's promising that she cannot cover. But like most presidential candidates throughout history, they always promise things that they cannot cover. Now let's jump on to Donald Trump. Do we even have to talk about what Donald Trump can't cover? He was president for 4 years and didn't cover none of the shit that he said he was going to cover. Only thing that he caused was issues with Mexico, Canada, possibly some of our allies, like right next door, by trying to sanction them. He is the sanction king of, no, matter of fact, do you know President Biden passed more sanctions in the world than any other president that's ever reigned? Biden is the sanction king. We talking about some of the most fucked up sanctions. Zimbabwe, Congo. We talking about sanctions of people that ain't got Venezuela. We talking about sanctions where people are pissing in the street and shitting in the street, bro. They don't have proper plumbing. They don't have proper lighting. And he sanctioned the whole country. Now, Venezuela, that leader ain't shit. And he's a totalitarian. And he's an oil baron. And he does everything. He's a fucked up individual. So you sanction him and his businesses.
Yo, Biden took his plane the other day?
Fucking Biden took the man's plane. So let me tell you. So the newly elected president, which is the old president, but he had his plane sitting in, where was it at?
Down in Florida somewhere.
Dominican Republic. It was chilling. He had it parked in Dominican Republic. You know who's cool with Dominican Republic? Your boy right here. So that motherfucker worked some backdoor channels and stole that nigga's plane. How gangster is the United States? Brought the plane over, and if you listen to the news, they are right now searching the plane for evidence of what? Nigga, drugs? Drugs? What evidence do they have? That's that nigga's plane.
But it was not even in the country.
It was in fucking Dominican Republic.
Yeah, jurisdiction. So what the
United States has jurisdiction everywhere.
Wherever they got a base.
Biden and Trump. That's what I'm telling you. All these guys work together. So you got the microchip wars going on with China. So the microchip wars starts with this country called ASML that is out of the Netherlands, and they make this microchip that fucking what they say can cause solar eclipses or explosions of the sun. They learn how to fucking do some shit like that with a microchip. So that it's a super chip. So what it does, it is one of those chips that those fucking arms that China created that is on most of the ports. They got their own robotic arm that picks up the fucking freights. You know what I'm saying? That's China's brainchild. But and it's just a superconductor chip. And ASML is the only company on earth that has the patent that can produce this chip. Now China can produce a chip that's lesser. So what the United States did is they did a chip act. And then if you ever watch the news, their people will go on and talk about how we're trying to undercut China. in front of the whole world and just will tell you. Because that's the business of capitalism. That's the capitalism that they're promoting. But by the United States sanctioning China with different things of that nature, China cannot do business with some of the allies they were allied with. So right now, Europe is getting a chokehold from the United States. And they can't do business with people that they want to do business with. And lose up, fucking us up, because they're all part of that bullshit as United Nations. Which is another form of some bullshit. You understand what I'm saying? Because United Nations is just United States. And everybody does what the fuck United States tell them to do. You know what I'm saying? Because Intel. But I mean, we it's definitely not our business savvy anymore because our dollar is falling and a lot of our businesses is fucked. From the 2008 crash, everybody started running from us after 2008.
So it could be on its way.
You know what I'm saying? It's more for military might. Nobody's gonna fuck with us. You can have a group of countries. And then, this is my theory, no evasion is happening because we all got guns. We all can do a school shooting. 3,000-4,000 times over with all the guns that you got circulating in this country. And believe that is a form of defense. That's going to deter you from jumping up on our shores and thinking.
Everybody got a gun.
Everybody got a gun and a car.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We got ways of getting around you. And there's some people with tanks.
Yeah. And that's exactly why a lot of people are like, yo, chill with the gun rights, because if we ain't got guns, if anything pop off, I'm just sitting here.
Exactly.
But we wouldn't have to do that if our government chilled the fuck out. The problem is a lot of nations.
We gotta chill the fuck out. We are our government.
No, we're not. We're no. We. It's like the Matrix, bro. But in real life, it's not like we're in the incubator going to sleep.
That's true.
But we feed the government, bro. Yeah. The COVID, all that money that we produce out, we feed the government. We fed them the information. Our system is run off people spending money within our country. That's what makes our economy strong. And our economy is the one that backs our dollar. We're no longer on the gold standard. Took off it in 1971. So that's the only thing that backs our dollar is what the NASDAQ and the Dow is telling everybody we got going on, and our SPF 500s and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying?
You talking about the S&P?
S&P. The S&P 500. You know what I'm saying? Ours is probably highly sought after. You know what I'm saying? Now, and a lot of them companies is lying about their fucking numbers.
Of course.
So I guess Biden, man, he's been in the government for a long time. He's part of a lot of black men getting locked up. He's part of those cocaine laws, that crack law. He's the brainchild for a lot of this stuff. He's part of all that. So
how about the weed laws?
Man, weed was just one of those things that, and it ain't about the government couldn't tax it and none of that nature. From what I heard, the theory from what I heard was weed was mostly outlawed because of the wood industry. You know what I'm saying? The wood industry, because hemp can produce clothes and paper and things of that nature, and
Cotton.
And things.
Cotton too.
Yes, and they didn't want nobody to use, because marijuana wasn't getting rolled up like it was, but not like now. You know what I'm saying? So that was what I heard. The reason why weed was outlawed, it was just strictly commerce. It wasn't about, and they just had to vilify it to make sure. Because while weed is being outlawed, you had Sears and Roebuck selling needles because heroin was legal here. Like they were selling, they had a poster of them. You could buy a kit and they'll mail it to you.
The same thing with diabetes, man. You buy that whole thing of needles.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it most likely definitely had something to do with commerce. You know what I'm saying? So, all right, man. I gave my little spiel on Trump. Trump is not that much. We could sit there and talk about the crazy shit Trump say. Is he cool? Is he not cool? Who y'all gonna vote for? Fuck it. Well, you basically what you said, Kamala.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Kamala because even though, like you said, even though they usually don't fall through with their policy, because like I said, there's always a roadblock with the House and the Senate anyway. But at least she's giving some type of policy. At least she's giving a policy. Trump, I haven't heard him give a policy yet. All he doing is
talking shit.
Just talking shit about people. All he doing is just roasting people.
Everyone got on this. If you want Kamala to get her next 4 years. She's crazy. You want her to keep on committing crimes. Go on and elect her back in. If that's what you want.
Trump?
Wow. You know what I'm saying? If you want, you know what I'm saying? That motherfucker is insane.
That's what I'm saying. So you're not giving me no policy at all. You're not even giving me nothing to look forward to or dream about. See, at least you give me something to look forward to and dream about, even if it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
All you doing is roasting.
Oh, man. So what do y'all brothers think? Are y'all not going to vote? Are you going to vote? Or? I'm being nosy, man. Fuck it. We digging.
Great question. Damn, that's deep.
I mean, if you don't know, if you undecided, you saying you ain't going to vote. This is a safe space.
Nah. My shit is like what 50 Cent said. You know what I'm saying about politics.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You gotta be mindful.
Yeah.
Because it's this motherfucking one bird, you know what I'm saying? Two different wings.
Yeah.
And the way politics happen in the first world country is not the same that happen in the third world country.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, the shit is really real. Like, these niggas is in bed at the end of the day. Their cousins and uncles and children go to school together.
You don't think that's the same thing in the third world country?
Generational wealth.
No, it's not. So what happens is, it's a little bit more serious. Politics are taking a little bit more, like it's really violent.
Yeah. I mean, but that's like Jamaica. Or how the Bahamas, like, I know the history of how Jamaica got there. Very bloody, very violent. Even afterwards. Because it was a still regime. White people were still regime, you know what I'm saying? Still to this day.
The crown.
Yeah. But that's what our country used to be, though. We used to be that.
Yeah, exactly.
We just graduated from that to, you think it's better or worse. Because there you know what's coming at you. Here,
from the time the niggas showed us the movie The Matrix, like, you know what I mean? They gave it to you right there.
Yeah.
Niggas programming.
We feed it. We feed the government, man.
Plugged in, nigga. What's the currency?
So who you
What's
voting
the
for?
battery? I told you, I'm not fucking with that shit.
Come on, Mr. Flex. Who you voting for?
Well, unfortunately, because of a position I hold in the Matrix, I cannot discuss any type of affiliation with any political party.
Understandable.
At that time.
Got out of that shit. You see how you guys said, fuck that shit. I ain't in nobody nothing. I'm going to tell you right now. I am in me 5 motherfucking me. So,
that part.
Fuck both of them. And now, who gets the slap of the day, Larry? Who gets to slap themselves for the day? Who gets to slap themselves for the day? We slapping both candidates, Kamala and Trump. Both of them need to wake up and slap themselves today. Before the debate. Going us, because that debate is going to be some of the funniest shit that you've ever heard. You're going to have an old white man debating on an old, she ain't even black. I heard the story about her father. He ain't bummerclot Jamaican. But you can't put Jamaican on his birth certificate because he was born there. Let me tell you. But why would race get you an election? Why would you have to ploy on being a black person when you're not? To win an election for sisters to vote. You understand? That to me, if y'all already going down that path, y'all fucking lost in the first place. You know what I'm saying? Fuck both of them. You understand what I'm saying? You can vote for one, you can vote for the other. I guarantee you there's another peon on a ticket somewhere. You can vote for that person. But necessarily, let's say fuck both of them, because no president on this face of this earth can get done what everybody wants to be done. Because that ain't the job of the executive branch. See, people forget political class when they was in school about not even a figurehead. He has no control over the policies that he's trying to. He ain't even supposed to be dealing with that. That's supposed to be straight Senate and a representative, because he is not that close to the country. He is the executive branch. He has nothing to do with human rights policies, school loans. So he is actually imposing his power on other services. So now I want people to modulate on that. So now you're electing a person that actually can't do a damn thing, man, because it's 3 different branches. So he can't really do nothing. Can the Senate and the House of Representatives can actually pass something, but they're not going to do anything because you got the Electoral College. And behind the Electoral College is the big L word. Can everybody say it with me? Lobbyists. As long as we have lobbyists, it will always be some bullshit. As long as you have lobbyists being able to lobby their agendas to your representative that you were supposedly elect, they can't do fuck all. Bottom line, get mad at me if you want. Oh, Lee, you ain't got to be rich to know this information. I just paid attention in civics class and I didn't forget none of that shit. Do you know a political science person that I be listening to said if you learn political science in the United States after World War II, it's some bullshit. Because it is not capitalism. It is imperialistic capitalism. There's a fucking word for it. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it that these guys wrote books about what's going on now in the 50s and the 60s, and it actually came true because it was common sense. It was common sense. You know what I'm saying? You can't go through, what was it, the industrial age to the military age to now the technology age. And the United States been leading the world through all these fucking ages every time, bro. Why we need an age? Why we need a military age? Well, we beefed up the military. That was always our local agenda because the Cold War, because of the USSR, because of Russia. You know what I'm saying? And all that was financial, positioning, and a little bit of ego. Because them dudes back in the 80s had more ego than dudes now. A lot of that shit was cocaine and dudes. No ego now. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them dudes was actually making bills while getting their dick sucked doing a line in the office at the same time. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like the main dude that fucking saved, was it Afghanistan the first time, was a cocaine head. Was he a senator of fucking Texas? He was a cokehead. He's a party animal, a fucking cokehead. So I listen. So everybody that wants to have arguments about certain things, about certain people that's making your decisions, certain people that you leading your clean life, and you judgmenting on people that may have done certain things. The guy that you elected is a cokehead and has done several lines of cocaine. And I'm going to let you know that.
Yeah.
And
one of the snitches caught the coke coming into the White House.
Do y'all think that a part of that matrix, that program, that game, is to get us to feed into the idea that these public officials are not human? It's like a human, because you almost have to be like, to look at any person, it doesn't matter who it is, any person, to say, I'm going to elect you to run things around me because somehow you convince me that you're not a human being and you don't make mistakes. You don't have personality disorders. You don't go through stuff. You don't get stressed out. Like, it's like these folks is human. And they're running our country. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta put what would break you?
Exactly.
And how would you act? You know what I mean? If you got in a situation where your morals were always tossed around because of your endeavor to succeed and see yourself at some type of different type of life experience, and you ain't really think about that. No, you know, you imagine and dream. Oh, I want to be rich. I want to be famous. I want to succeed. I want to be an artist. I want to be an actor. But your brain doesn't tell you what it's going to cost you.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So, and you're talking about elected officials. Listen, man, there's so many people responsible for our stuff that do the same stuff we do.
Mm-hmm.
And all we do, they just convinced us to put them on the pedestal and not look at them as equals. Isn't that amazing?
You hit it. Yeah. And listen, man, the psychology is fucking phenomenal. Psychology is fucking phenomenal.
We got visitor.
We got visitor.
Oh, look, and she got offended. She said, visitor, this is my house.
He's my brother, so I mean, you know that counts, right?
Psychology.
To do with my brother's house.
Go and have a seat, Miss Lady. Go and have a seat, man. Psychology. Psychology. Everything is about. If you're really going through history, go ahead, man. You good to go? Don't be in camera, man. Staying alive. Staying alive. The whole world was built off of, our whole United States was built off of that propaganda, marketing and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? So basically, what we kind of touching up on, man. If anybody's just tuning in, man, we talking about the future debate, and we talking about the actual candidates of the two ruling parties that's going on in our country, and their platforms and things of that nature, things of what they do.
And this is Hunger Games.
Definitely.
So, we gotta, to be intelligent human beings, we gotta sit back and say, I see it. You got to see it. It's like, but why is it that every politician speaks the same vibrato?
Same vibrato. They sound, they go to school for that shit.
Yeah, it's like preachers. It's like, there is a certain behavior that goes with a certain position. Football coaches look like football coaches.
Yeah.
So politicians, they move and act like politicians. So that right there says that there's something going on. There's a system involved.
Well, but people are so I think people that just bought into it, and I understand why a lot of but a lot of people make really good money off this system. You know what I'm saying? And they like their status quo. So let me ask you a question: Do you keep up with politics? Do you keep up?
I do.
So what's your take on Kamala and Trump? Give me your take on Kamala and Trump.
Man, this is hilarious.
Yeah, just put that down, put on the shop on your lap. Put on your lap. Just hold on. That's so.
Man, that's hilarious. So, my personal take is like he said, it's a system. It's all part. It has to keep the machine going, until it reaches its destination by any means necessary. And there's gonna be wild characters that come out in politics at all times, all throughout history. They do. Me personally, I'm not for it either, right? But if I had a gun put to my head and I was asked who you gonna vote for, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna vote for Trump.
Whoa, that's what I'm. See, that's why I'm glad she on. I love motherfucking controversy. I love. Why are you gonna vote for that beige nigga? Because he's a beige nigga. He's not white anymore. He's orange.
Listen, I don't care what color. We're supposed to be in America where you don't get judged by the color of your skin, but by the character of your eyes. Again, which is questionable too. Right?
All right.
The reason I'm going to vote for Trump, if I have to pull the trigger, push comes to shove, Trump was the first president that actually made me understand what trickle-down economics was. Because during the pandemic, right, even though we don't know how the crisis started, how 2020 was like thrown in and everything, this nigga said, I'm still as much money as I want to. And all I think about, the way I see Trump is like, you thought, the cartoon with the bank robber stealing and he's running down the road and he's got like a bag full of money.
The money
flying out. Yeah. And I'm just like, we the people cashing the little pieces of money that's flying out. He don't give a flying fuck. He's still gonna rob. But that little piece, he's not caring about the things that are like flying away. That's why they say when billionaires, you know how rich someone is if what you've been down for. Mm-hmm. If you see a penny and you pick it up, that shows the status you are. If you pick a dime, if you see, next time you see a dime, you're like, I'm not going to pick up that penny. Mm-hmm. I have all these pennies. I'm going to pick up the dime instead. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I made the most money I ever made in my 34 years of life under Trump.
So you think he had something to do with it?
Life. His thievery? Hell yeah.
It inspired you.
It inspired
to steal.
No.
Hey, and you throwing that word thievery out there.
Of him.
So, all right, let me ask you something. So that
I had a legit job and I made money, and then I was still getting free money because I have 2 kids. So no other president just gave me $1,200 for me and my kids. Just because we have hurricanes here all the time, we have tornadoes here. There's so many.
When the last time we had a hurricane?
Last year.
Man, that shit was like a thunderstorm. I'm talking about a real. Nah, I'm talking about Florida, New Orleans.
But no, that still hits either way. Honey bunches of oats.
Not no oats.
Listen. Either way, I made the most money I ever made from my job. I got to actually work from home actually be with my kids. As annoying as they are, I had to learn who my kids were because I couldn't just take them to daycare or anywhere else. I had to learn about my medicine. Because of Trump, I had to be proactive about stuff I didn't like about him and actually question and dig in. And the more I dug in, the more I'm just like,
No, but all right, let me.
So we taught you how to play the game.
he taught me how to play the game.
Let me. All right, let me
He
talk
taught
about.
everybody.
Let me talk about y'all game. All right, let me. This. So COVID was a government money grab. Hold on. But I'm gonna explain why it. So COVID was a government money grab, and any president, you could have been president, and they would have done the same thing. See, they had already thought of that.
No. They wouldn't have taken as much as Trump
Yeah,
did.
no.
And that Trump was given away.
No. Let me also explain another thing. The executive branch doesn't disperse money. That is not his job.
I know.
Hold on. Let me. So this why I'm gonna take all that credit away from that beige dude. But whether you take it or not, that wasn't Trump. He was just the dude in charge at the time when that shit was going down. Now, they've been planning shit like this since 2008.
I agree.
Because they had to save themselves.
I agree.
They needed us to spend that money. They wish they could have gave you more money. You understand what I'm saying? Than that 40 grand. But that is one of the reasons why the inflation is so high. It's probably going to go up just a little bit more. But that is what they want. They wanted listen, they want more failures in credit than they want pluses in credit.
I agree.
So, I mean, hell, it could have been.
But there's so many different moving pieces to this big machine. We're focusing on just what Trump was, you know? But then, like I said,
he was just a guy, though. Like he wasn't the guy that put the money in your pocket.
It doesn't matter. It happened under him, and that's how it happens in America. It doesn't matter if you did it or not. If it's under your presidency, guess what? You get.
It got to start mattering to us.
Bill Clinton got a whole lot of.
He got his dick sucked.
He did, and he got a lot of other credits for other people.
Yeah, but
that wasn't his. He inherited a lot of stuff, just like Obama inherited a lot of stuff, and that we still credit Obama for. That happened in the last,
Obama didn't do Obamacare.
What? You have Obamacare?
Yeah, I know a lot of people.
No, that's not what I asked.
There's nothing wrong with it.
That's not what I asked.
I'm ex-military. If I didn't, I probably would.
Okay, but you don't. So
but I'm ex-military.
That's fine.
I don't knock Obama. There's nothing wrong with
Obama. I love Obama. I didn't say nothing was wrong with it. You brought it up.
Because he did Obamacare.
Okay.
Trump didn't build no damn wall.
Exactly. He took
what
all
happened to the wall?
What happened to it? All the people that plugged in to get the money, got the money.
Oh, so he took the money from the wall. That's why we ain't got the wall.
Trump is a friend of mine. Listen, you can call him Robin Hood if you want to.
I feel you, man.
Hate him.
No, listen.
So honest. I love someone.
He's honest. That nigga's a liar. He lies every 15 seconds.
That's what he's honest about. That he's a liar.
He's an honest liar.
All of them lie. Like Kamala's lying.
Exactly. All of them lied, but some of them hide it better. I can say the Democratic Party hides it better. Right?
You like his Trump be talking shit. He's a funny dude. I swear to God, he be having me dying laughing. He be joning people. What he was talking about Kamala, man. But all right. So you will vote for Trump. You vote for Kamala. He is undecided and he cannot
speak on politics.
Me, you know where I'm at. I think we should just fuck all of them.
That would be ideal. That's ideal, but America won't allow that.
Anarchy.
Not only America, America's people won't allow that to happen.
Anarchy.
As many times as I've grown up, there's going to be a civil war if Obama wins. There's going
to be no damn civil war.
Exactly. So they're saying the same thing right now.
Everybody likes their money too much, man. Listen, man. There's Teslas now. We got Teslas. We can't have a civil war till the Teslas get old, and that's another 30, 40 years. Nobody want to mess up their Tesla. Who want to fuck with they? Ain't nobody shooting. Listen, man. Hold on. You want me to storm what, nigga? I just bought a Tesla. What do you mean, man? Not a house, nigga, a Tesla.
So let's go materialistic.
So ain't nobody revolting against shit, man. We got Teslas now. Shit.
I feel what we spoke about earlier. Everybody in America has villains now. So
That don't mean nothing. Have you heard about what's going on in Colorado?
Right, in Colorado.
Oh, the Venezuelan gang taking over.
Yeah, taking over Colorado.
Well, I got to me personally, I would have to research that more because me just seeing it on the internet is not.
No,
it's funny.
All I know can be misinformation.
True. But that's why you do your own research.
Do you know Biden stole it?
Trump. I do my research now. When he says get a horse tranquilizer, it cures COVID. I had to go like, what do you mean horse tranquilizer? What kind? I had to actually look at it.
I just seen
shit. Do you know they do that shit in jail and get fucking?
But you know, horse tranquilizer is one of the drugs that's killing people.
Hell yeah.
Good for them.
They spray it on the car and then do smoke it.
But what I'm saying is, you say you have your guns, right? So in Colorado right now, some venomous, you remember, I don't know if it was years ago, when that big migration of people walking from South America in coming to Mexico trying to get into the U.S.
That's every day.
No, but it was like a mass.
I think when we first started sanctioning Venezuela, when we started going at it with their president.
Yeah. So they came, right? And a lot of them settled in the West. So California, Arizona, Colorado being one of them. And now what they're doing is they're taking over the apartment complexes that they live in. So knocking on people's doors. You pay us rent now. You don't pay the landlord. And we'll make sure you don't kick you out. And then they're going to these businesses and doing it. But here's my thing. Everyone has guns. Why is no one doing anything? If a guy come to you just knocking on your door, saying you gotta pay me for protection money now, and then you're going to business, America.
I got my guy.
No, but America.
But let me tell you how
Americans are selfish. We are selfish
because they don't want to pay the landlord. You think that's what you thinking?
No, because we, at the end of the day, when push comes to shove, I'm gonna take care of mine. I'm not gonna take care of my neighbor.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I'm just worried about me.
I'm worried about me.
We ain't gonna stick
We're
together.
not hearing the fact that you even hear about what happened in Colorado. Ain't no revolution ever gonna happen.
But let me tell you how these dudes probably knocking at the door. So they probably going to the door with about 4 or 5 big Venezuelan motherfuckers with face tats, with skulls all over their fucking face, with no shirts, and it's probably 0 degrees. And they probably got guns. You know what I'm saying? So if you answer the door with your gun, most likely you just die. You know what I'm saying? Because I think that might be the case with what's going on. Do you know Biden stole the Venezuelan president's plane?
No, I did not.
He confiscated the plane out of the Dominican Republic, man. They got that shit with the other day. That shit's fucked.
Was it Trump? I mean, was it Biden or was it his advisors?
I'm gonna explain to everybody. Biden is probably one of the biggest warmonger presidents in politics. Between him and Ronald Reagan. Them the 2 biggest warmongers you could possibly go for right now. With all the sanctions that both of them imposed, but mostly Biden, and all the shit that Biden is, he's a terror. He's a straight terror. I'm not going to deny what people say about Biden. He's an evil person. You know what I'm saying? He's one of those bourgeois. He's definitely a representative of the deep state.
Yeah, he was born into politics, raised in the politics, groomed for politics.
So, what issue do you have with Kamala? Is she black? Everybody say it don't matter, but fuck it, we gonna talk about it. Is she black?
Okay, so that's such a touchy subject, right? Because if we're just saying the way she looks, she could be a black girl, right? But because she's Indian, right? Her grandmother is Indian.
Her mother, somebody.
Her mother?
Yeah.
Someone
her father was born in Jamaica.
Exactly.
But
right?
He's not. He's a different race born in Jamaica. Like he's not like a Rasta Jamaican. He's not a black guy. He ain't a black guy.
In other words, he's trying to say
you just answered the question.
His family migrated there and he was born there.
Boom.
So you just answered the question then. Nah, just to be real controversy, no, I don't think she's black because first of all, you're Indian, you don't claim it. You're married to a white guy who's also Jewish, right?
Think he's gay?
Hell yeah.
He moves very freely.
She's a beard. I think she's a man.
He moves very freely.
She moves very masculine.
You think so?
How many people in Hollywood are coming out every day trans. Like, you can't tell these people
Talking
apart
to Joe
anymore.
Brown, and Judge Joe Brown said she was going through them dudes in California like water.
And
he a horrible.
that was
he's a
that
fucked up.
was
He's a
funny as hell.
he's a fucked up dude.
That
I would
was
love to interview
funny.
Joe Brown.
That was hilarious.
He is the biggest, I would say, wealth of not like his historical knowledge, especially black, like black history.
He knows his shit.
Because he knew all those guys, but his viewpoints, oh man, are strong. Let me put it that way. He is.
I love him. He's hilarious.
He is hilarious, but he is.
He reminds me of what?
Dick Gregory.
Oh man,
Yeah.
Dick Gregory. He was a political. He was a yeah. He was
Saying some wild shit.
Yeah. And you know, Dick Gregory built his bones off of being like the first mainstream black comedian that was doing white rooms.
Yeah.
Like he was doing white rooms, and
So
then when
he was a comedian, yeah.
and I think
He went into politics.
yeah, black activism. Really, you know what I'm saying?
That too.
You know what I'm saying? Highly, he went strong into that shit. He had bread.
For real.
He had big time bread.
Actually, a lot of our comedians end up being usually are activists or or in politics. Majority of the comedians, because that's what they doing. They comic on.
So let me ask you
They can
something.
articulate.
Has everybody seen Chris Rock's movie when he ran for president?
Oh yeah, I know.
Black president?
Is it
No,
called?
that, yeah.
No. I don't think it's called.
I
Black
think it's
President.
called Head of State.
Head of State. Something like that.
Now, would you like? Let's say there was a candidate like that actually was like that, and went against the grain completely. Do you think he would live? Do you think he would die? Would you? You know what I'm saying? What do you think his outcome would be in our current form of government? Do you think a guy like that can survive in our current form
No,
of
because it
politics?
doesn't feed the machine.
What do you think, man?
But I said he's not going to get his way anyway, because just like you said, to me, he just figured it.
Didn't they try to take him out in that movie?
No,
Couple?
they might have. I can't remember. I don't know. It was funny as hell though. The movie, the debate was funny as hell. So, all right, let me ask y'all another question.
Funny as hell.
If y'all know history as a president, do you think JFK was one of those presidents
That was
against the grain?
Of course.
Yeah, they clapped him.
That's why they.
I
Yeah.
think they
That's why
got
they
him.
clapped.
What's your view of why they clapped him?
he was too black.
I think, yeah, like it was. We talking civil rights.
You think it had something to do with civil rights?
Yeah, we talking more like we
Yeah.
talking. Like everybody, look who got shot at them times.
You see,
Like back to back.
Him and Bobby Kennedy.
Bobby
Him and
Kennedy.
his brother. His brother was like the next year,
That's
some
what I'm
shit, a couple
trying to
years
say.
later, he was running for president.
Yeah, they still
So-
killing Kennedy.
They are.
Yeah.
You think it was civil rights? You think it had to do something with civil rights?
I mean,
I
it's
think it's
overall,
both,
bro.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
overall climate. It's the military, what he was doing. You know what I mean? Like
Behind doors.
yeah, all types.
He was moving too black.
Do you know my theory? I don't think it has anything to do with civil rights. I think it has everything to do with the Cuban Missile Crisis.
See,
I think that's the single reason why they killed him. I don't think it had anything to do with civil rights.
They wanted to go to war. They wanted to get that.
They wanted to go to war, but he saved us.
Mm-hmm.
He saved America. Because if we went to war, we didn't know about those missiles that rushed to those silos that they had hidden in Cuba. The Cubans knew it, and I think civilization would have been over with.
And Cuba like, don't put us if you want to.
You know what I'm saying? And do you know who cut the treaty? A Cuban ambassador, and it was Kennedy's representative. I'll get the names next week, but it wasn't even those two. No, the Russian ambassador for Cuba.
Mm-hmm.
The Russian ambassador for Cuba, and I'm trying to think of the politician name, was the one that convinced JFK to not go to war. Why the Joint Chief of Staff, the general at the time, was, and I think when we didn't go to war and they found out that there was missiles, certain people got fucked up.
Yeah.
And he was too big. JFK was somewhere else then.
Yeah.
He was like, we'll reelect you for the rest of our life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because he was really about that shit.
Yeah.
So that is my theory. I think it was strictly because the biggest thing on that was Cold War, was communist versus democracy. I think that supersede. I mean, hell, they started selling crack for the Cold War. Crack funded the Cold War.
The Iran-Contra scandal.
Yeah, the Iran-Contra, not letting communism. Crack was
and they dumped that shit in the hood.
The most important thing, and that's I could be wrong, but that's when I looked at it. To me, it was the Cuban Missile Crisis. I think was the single reason why, and I think his brother was. I think his brother was a whole lot. Mob, gangsters from New York. He was fucking the Ku Klux Klan. Like everybody hated his ass. He was locking every white
public enemy number one.
If you was a white motherfucker and you was on some crime shit, Bobby Kennedy was coming after your motherfucking ass. And all the motherfuckers like, man, we got you elected, man. The Teamsters, he was like, I know. Now y'all going to jail. That's how Bobby Kennedy did to motherfuckers, man. He was like, Bobby Kennedy to me was the gangster out of all of them. The true G.
I told you, bro.
Anyway, that nigga right there, man. Now, listen, man. If I could dig a nigga up, be Bobby motherfucking Kennedy and run for president. I can dig it. Yeah, man. Bobby Kennedy was righteous, man. You listen to some of the shit I love how they talk from Connecticut. I love how they listen, man. Have you ever heard of the phone conversations, man? Like, especially all right, when Martin Luther King came to Alabama after the fucking, when they blew up the church and killed them 3 girls, Martin Luther King came down here. They surrounded the church he was at with Ku Klux Klan members. They was finna kill. Listen, Martin Luther King said, call Bobby. They called that nigga. They called Bobby. Bobby called down to the fucking Alabama governor. You listen here. You don't deploy that National Guard right now. That's some gangster ass shit. And we all know that the governor, you listen here. You don't deploy. You know what I'm saying? And the governor of fucking Alabama was a clear-cut super racist. Like he was like the Grand Wizard, the super racist of that motherfucker, man. So I don't know, man. Listen, man. I don't fuck with a lot of our black leaders now because they're all capitalists. If you are a black person in the government running around talking about motherfuckers need to vote, you're part of the problem.
No, that's on Jesse Jackson the other day.
That's intense.
That's on Jesse Jackson. I saw some.
Oh, that nigga was dead.
Wheelchair.
Now he got Ozempic.
He looking kind of crazy.
That Ozempic gonna creep up on everybody, just like that COVID vaccine. Just like that.
I see Cat Williams. Did you see his stand up where he talked about how that Ozempic is getting them mugs in Hollywood?
No.
Yo, so Cat Williams did that live comedy show on Amazon or no, on Netflix.
I think I seen that shit. I don't.
When you say, listen, I'm going to give y'all the scoop. And he said, I'm going to give you the scoop. He said, the one thing that, that's getting everybody in Hollywood is that Ozempic.
but if y'all think about it, there's always been something like that. Like, we had the Yellow Jackets. Then what was that shit in the 80s that them ladies was taking, man?
Oh, to lose weight and shit like
that. And it was speed. It was just straight speed. There's always been something. Now we got Ozempic. Now we got Ozempic. Listen, the country people.
Marketing and advertising.
This is capital. Go ahead.
The money is in the drugs. The money is in the band-aiding of sickness, not the cure. Because if you cure it, how you gonna make money?
That's not a capitalistic thing to do, is cure you, bro. You walk into the hospital, say, capitalist society, bro. I ain't curing shit. But I give you this medicine to make you feel a little bit better. Come back and see me tomorrow.
I had to give my children a refresher about the Tuskegee experiment.
Do you know that experiment was everywhere? Yeah, it was Tuskegee. Yeah, it wasn't just Tuskegee.
I know, it was a whistleblower.
Yeah.
40 years later.
Yeah,
that discovered that shit.
It was in the prisons. Yeah, it was really big, but they ain't gonna tell you about the prison, bro. It was really big in the prison.
Yeah, they gonna.
Well, is it
I mean, listen, when you first go in there, nigga, you getting shot up, nigga. They shooting you up.
Yeah, instantly.
On sight.
Did I get shot with him?
I would have known the shots I got in the military. I know how many shots I got in the military.
Listen, to be honest with you.
Got a lot of shots.
Yeah.
Man, walking outside this thing, them
Pops! They come around the corner with that gun and you be walking by like, I done got hit twice. I ain't gonna get hit no more. But you see that corner at the end, and you don't know who's hiding behind that corner. I swear to God, the niggas was in the corner like this. As soon as you hit that corner,
you going down the line when you first
and it's popping you with a gun.
Yeah, because it's so many of us, so they'll pop you with it, so the new need to come in.
I ain't even talking about deployment. Now, deployment is something different. When you get deployed, oh my God. Here, you're going to need this. Okay. Here, you're going to, for real?
Yep.
Here, you're going to need this.
Yep.
And you can't say, I don't want it.
Or you get my homeboy, he got discharged because he refused to take the anthrax.
Dishonorably discharged.
Let me tell you one time. Yeah. I don't like taking pills. They gave me this big ass horse pill that
we talking about that 800 milligram motion.
They were doing that experiment. They had a heart monitor. They chose 5 of us in our platoon when we went through PT. That was good. You know, that was fit. That was able. They know can do all the exercise no problem. Had me take this big ass pill, and there was a chip in it that it was monitored, and they had this heart monitor hooked up to all of us. And I had no choice. He's man. Yeah, like you said, even if you don't want to do it.
I should have my ass right up.
I done had, you don't want no Article 15. That shit is. I'm sorry, go ahead, bro. Yeah, I had 2 of them bitches.
So they experimented on you in the military too. With,
Yeah, man, they gave me Article 15. I was an asshole. Cause I figured that shit out early. Let me tell you when I had my realization in the military. I was sitting in the PX eating a fucking pizza, looking in the newspaper, watching the dude with a machete in Rwanda about to cut somebody's head off.
Damn.
So I'm looking like, yo, we just came to South America. What the fuck am I? So we told them, like, we need to be there.
Yeah.
Like, that's some easy shit. You could send me, him, and him.
Yeah.
Fucking helicopter, fly around, get into hiding.
Yeah.
Shit. Evacuate.
Yeah.
Fly back around. Drop. And then go in and just get whatever you want. Like,
well, answer this question. What resources do they have that you want?
Africa. They got everything.
You talking about Africa?
Everything. Rwanda, listen, they're raping Rwanda right now. We could have been the first ones in line for them computer chips and the microchips. Right now,
so that's why they just swoop in and take over.
Yeah, we lame as hell. I think what were we too busy doing?
Helping Israel. It's all for the Israeli cause.
I don't think we was. I think Israel was having issues then. This is the 90s.
That's what I'm saying. It's all
same difference.
Same difference. This is all for the Israeli.
You think so?
I know I sound like a conspiracy.
No, I ain't gonna go for it.
I'm probably gonna get canceled for this, but America does everything for the Zionist nation, for the Zion nation, or for Israel, or whatever they think. Okay. And to me, the reason Israel will never, the Palestine thing will never get solved, right? It's connected to Congo, to Africa, because they're raping they're taking everything, specifically the Congo. Because that's where all the cobalt is. That's where all the diamonds is. And they're funneling it straight to Israel. And Israel is then giving it to them. America is doing the hard work. And sending it to Israel. And just, again, feeding the machine. It's never going to stop. The war on on Palestine will never stop until we fix what's happening in Congo. That's in the middle of Africa.
Do you think it'll just be something new, though?
No.
Even if because
you mean once the problem is fixed,
it's never problem will be fixed because that Congo problem is more of a newer problem.
No, it's
not. No. Reason why I'm saying newer, it's not like Zimbabwe. And reason why I'm saying all right, so Zimbabwe just got off of sanctions.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? But why was Zimbabwe sanctioned in the beginning of the 70s?
Because of their president. He stood strong. He hated everyone. Well, he stood for his morals.
Talking about the black guy, the president, he allowed him to go take over them farms that them bullshit as farmers were trying to resell them back to. And they was using American real estate adjusters to price these motherfuckers for
The Zimbabwean, yeah.
For the white, for the, was it Netherlands people? The Holland people?
It was Swedish too.
The Swedish.
Yeah, it was the Nordic people. Yeah. But I mean, but he took it back. And I feel like he just do what America always do to everybody else.
Sanction the fuck out.
Sanction. And that's what they did. And that's why Zimbabwe is where Zimbabwe is right now. But they had to be, to me, the history of Zimbabwe is the history of them being the fall guy. You know how Haiti, I feel like Haiti is the fall guy for the West, for, you know, the Western hemisphere. Mm-hmm. And I feel Zimbabwe was the fall guys for the whole continent of Africa, because so many great leaders were there at that time, and they got taken out one by one by one by one. And he was the only one that didn't, well, one of the only ones that didn't get taken out. And he stood for his morals, and he said, you're not going to bully me. You're not going to bully my country. You know what? Get all these crackers out of here immediately, and I'm going to put my people in the front. What did America do? What America does best. It bullies. And say, if you're my friend, you ain't going to mess with him. And you're my friend, too. Don't you mess with him. Yeah. Oh, you say you still gonna mess with him? I'm gonna put you in the same thing as him, and you don't want that. For 50 Cent.
I like how you tie that hood shit.
Jamaica Queens, man.
Black people, we go through the same shit here. Yeah. We getting sanctioned here on a listen, listen. As of this year, there are 22 countries that we have under sanction. I'm gonna name them all. Afghanistan, February 25th, 2022. The Balkans, June 8th, 2024. Belarus, April 19th. But these are countries that's been sanctioned. We just re-up in the sanction.
I know, and I'm telling you what it was for. Like,
yeah.
I'm telling them what it was for.
Central African Republic, which is Zimbabwe, Congo, all that shit. All right, we got the China. We have Ethiopia. Why the fuck we sanctioning Ethiopia? Hong Kong, Iran,
really got their hands in
Iraq, Lebanon. Why are we sanctioning Lebanon? They poor as fuck. Libya. Why are we sanctioning Libya? They poor as fuck. Nicaragua, North Korea, obviously. Somalia, poor as fuck. South Sudan, the poorest of the poorest fuck. Syria, Venezuela, and Yemen. There is no. Most of these are third world countries.
And most of these countries all have what in common? They all have oil. They have all untapped oil, untapped forestry, untapped diamonds, gold,
minerals,
all there. Stuff that the people, it's not that the people don't know how to use it or can't recreate it the way America is or China is or Russia is they're not allowing it. Because again, it stops the progression of the machine. Yep. It stops the feeding of the Jewish state. Mm-hmm. It stops the capitalism. It stops everything. It stops Black Americans from actually being at the very bottom of the barrel. And now to think that, oh, I could be something. Right now we're struggling and being something and being examples. But to have a whole, look what happened to Haiti. Haiti stood up for themselves.
Everybody should have fell off all the blueprint.
Haiti stood up. Then what happened? The British came back. Now you owe us for 100 years. You got to pay us back because you beat our ass.
Oh,
that's crazy.
They have to get their ass beat again.
Dana Stroud. Dana Stroud, the top Pentagon Middle East policy official, confirms president is holding troops in Syria illegally.
Syria what?
In Syria.
Oh, okay.
Syria illegally. They have 1,000 troops, 10,000 Kurdish and Arab troops. Syria is like you said, is a resource-rich area. So you have people actually going out talking about how things get sanctioned and what exactly, and it's a lot of it's for natural resources. Venezuela's a little bit different. Venezuela's been under 15 years of sanction. It's basically because of the president. We don't agree with the president. He does shit that we do, and we feel like we're the only ones that are allowed to do shit. And he is a terrorist for his country. He's a horrible leader. But you don't have to sanction the whole country. You can just sanction him. So by us sanctioning Venezuela for the past 15 years is the worst decline in history of Latin America. Economic warfare targets civilian populations, 40,000 deaths from 2017 to 2018, according to the Center of Economic Policy Research of U.S. sanctions. Infant mortality rate increased 30%. Human mortality rate increased 65%. The reason for sanctions, they always say humanitarian reasons. If you ever, it's always going to say the leader is fucking up the people's country. They're bad, and they might be bad because most governments are bad on policy. But you can sanction the person and not the whole. Most European, really under the UN treaty, you're not allowed to sanction foreign countries for monetary purposes. So you're not actually allowed to stop a country from being able to do business with it. And that's what we do.
Are you expecting these people that make the laws to remember what law their granddaddy made and to actually honor it? There's no honor in thievery.
Man, listen, man.
But that makes sense. And it also makes sense in Venezuela where it is on the map, you know? Like, it was one of the biggest ports before besides Brazil. And Venezuela was one of the biggest ports of where all the slaves were being dropped off at, you know?
Yeah.
So it makes sense. And there was a huge population of Native Americans. Is that what they're called? Yeah, Native Americans. Mm-hmm. And the slaves actually getting together and saying, no, we're not going to let this shit go through. And to this day, Venezuela is also being punished. That's what bullies do. So America's a bully.
This is bad how America bullied. The U.S. military, the actual military person on the news said the U.S. military owns areas in sanction in Syria. Basically where the oil reserve and wheat reserve, most of the areas where the oil and the wheat reserve is, the U.S. military has put their presence there and took over that land. So nothing goes in and nothing goes out. We're not refining the oil and pumping it out, but we're not letting anybody do anything with the oil.
And I mean, America has one of the largest preserves. Like,
we got a lot of oil.
We have a lot of oil.
You want to know what we can't use it?
Why?
Because they reserve it.
No, it's not about reserve. You got to look into oil refinery. Oil refinery is different. It's not the same oil that comes out of different parts of the world. Mm-hmm. And you got to own certain refineries to use certain oil. The oil that we produce, our dumbasses don't have refineries in our country to refine it, and not enough. So we oil swap. Like, you got to pay. But I started digging into the oil shit. They do oil trading. So we trade. That's why we get oil from the Middle East, because they have refineries to turn their oil into shit that our vehicles use. And our oil, they can refine and turn into what they shit uses. Yeah. It's not as complicated as people think it is. We just oil swap. We just don't. We saving money.
Yeah.
Because of oil refinery, we don't want no more. We don't want anything to do with oil in our country because we're so-called eco-friendly. But we're the least eco-friendly country. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. But that's why a lot of our oil, we can't even use that shit with our vehicles or whatever you use in this country.
You know, you saying that explains the Iraq-Afghanistan war.
Of course.
So much more better. Like, it just...
Do you know
something? I mean, I already knew about, like, with Saddam Hussein and everything. Like, I remember when he was captured and killed here, and it was the most wildest scene I've ever seen in Clarkston. And it was black and white, basically, because there were some people just, like, shouting for joy. They killed Saddam, and then the people that knew, they're like, man, this is sad. This is a loss for
Have y'all ever talked to a Desert Storm vet? That was like there for the whole time and seen a lot. I talked to a Desert Storm vet when I was military. He said we lied about all that shit. About Iraq attacking Kuwait, forcefully sending missiles. They just went there and sat.
Yeah.
Because they knew United States was on some fucking bullshit with the oil. And they just went there and sat. They didn't shoot anybody. They didn't kill none. They didn't do none of that.
Do you believe conspiracy? The non-conspiracy that it was Big Bush just trying to complete what he couldn't complete during the
they don't give a fuck about that.
To push his son to...
No, them dudes kick it. Listen, man. These world leaders, kids go to the same international schools. They kick it. They eat lunch. They have dinner. You know what I'm saying? Fucking, you think Dennis Rodman, the only person that went over there and kicked it with Kim Jong-un and shit like that? Like, nah, man. These folks... It might be personal to them, but it is all about power and agenda. And everybody in the United States that you see is just a representative. The president is a representative of somebody else that's doing the agenda that he wants them to do.
So what do you think the end goal is besides like the physical?
To keep shit how it's supposed to be, like it is right now. And keep getting money. Not.
I say generational wealth for their families.
They already
But
got
they
it.
already got it. They
That's
keep doing that.
They want to keep
But that's
listen.
how they keep it going. They don't want nobody else to
They do anything to keep that
Do-
power.
So why did they conspiracy? I know I'm like going down another path. Why did they do the COVID? We know, or the ones that know it was man made, right? Why do you think they did that if it was to keep the same status quo? Because they were already
Money
winning
grab.
before COVID.
COVID wasn't about the deep state, wasn't about the bourgeoisie.
Well, who made it then? I mean, like if it was made to just
Don't
decrease the population,
don't even focus on COVID and the reactions of COVID. COVID was a money grab. COVID was a money grab. Listen, one, by the United States government, the World Federal Reserve Bank, and all the other countries that's in the UN. COVID was a UN money grab, and this is why I'm explaining. Larry Elder, he explains it way better than me. COVID was a money grab. You gotta look at, you gotta follow the money. First thing we can talk about, what's that senator that got caught up that was running for president, and she invested into what's that mask company, 3M, and got caught up in the shit. And a lot of politicians, so they knew about the shit before going. That's the first money grab. That's the personal bourgeoisie money grab. Mm-hmm. The governmental money grab is you remember 2008 crash. Mm-hmm. 2008 crash fucked our dollar up because it exposed the whole world on what we really do with our money. So everybody's been scared since then. China, Russia, every country. So that's why you got the BRICS formation coming on, trying to oust our dollar. Mm-hmm. You got all this. What is this? What's the currency? Now, what's that currency? Bitcoin and all that shit. All that shit hurts our current status of our dollar. And there's some countries not accepting a dollar right now. So the only way we got to fix that is we got to back our money with a better economy. We got taken off the gold standard in 1971 by Nixon. So the only thing that backs it is our economy. So they need to do a money grab. So in a capitalist society, how do you fund it? Yes.
Isn't it usually war?
No, we spend money. We got to spend money. Baby, we got to spend so much money on these American companies to make that shit look good. So when a foreign investor look at that, oh, they made that much motherfucking money that year?
But doesn't that seem like counterproductive?
Like, no.
Yes, the companies are money grabbing and rent is going higher and everything. But
your
work,
your rent going up gives them more money.
Yeah, that's it, but it is
that puts more money in their pocket.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Eventually, it's gonna stop if the people that are supposed to be giving you the money is not going through. We're living in 10 cities in Georgia.
This is the World Federal Reserve regulates interest rates. Interest rates is what's regulating inflation. They always want inflation. They wanted to stay between 1 and 3. And am I right?
Yeah.
Between 1 and 3. They don't want it to go on. And the reason why people are like, why can't we have zero inflation? Because we are, we're not a cash-based society. We're a credit economically based like that society. So we got to spend money. For us to look good, we got to spend money on American companies. We got to make them look good. So you're going to raise the price. So if I raise inflation on this price, I made more money this year than I did last year. So when you looking to invest in my company, looking at my books, these motherfuckers is making money. During COVID, oh my God, they was killing it. Mm-hmm. And COVID was a money grab. The downfall is in the World Reserve Bank, and they understood this. They want the downfall. Because for our economy to get back to where it needs to be, we got to pull ourselves up from our bootstraps. I swear to God, this is what white boys say. Pull ourselves up from our bootstraps and strong base our economy.
We don't even have bootstraps anymore. We don't even have.
But you see what I'm saying? That's their theory. This is what they're projecting to happen with the inflation and everything and all these. So you got to think. They're giving out money for small business owners and stuff like that. So everybody opens up a fucking business, but they don't. A lot of businesses go down. There's more businesses than employees to fill them.
Or they end up in the news with the shoddy work they did at somebody's house. All these new business owners that started these food businesses and everything. And
everybody owes somebody though. So all these people with businesses, failing businesses, that 20,000 wasn't enough to get that business. It was enough to make their credit look good, so they can get a lot of shit off of credit. Oh my God, you know what I'm saying? You invested in the credit cards right now, man. You in the money. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And credit runs everything because we're in a credit-based system. We are a capitalistic society. We want the whole world to run off credit. We don't want Africa to be a cash-based continent. We don't want nobody to be cash-based because we can't control you. We can't do to you what we want to do to you. We can't make you stop selling them chips to that motherfucker. We can't make, because America is not about working with somebody and I'm making good money, you making good money. We're the only ones that's making good money.
So what do you believe? I'm sorry, go ahead, Larry.
That's it. That goes back to what we talked about a few episodes ago. The has and the has not.
Mm-hmm.
That's the real.
I like that, man.
The has and has not.
Okay. So just to because I'm just asking questions, but just to throw a wrench. So you know how the boomers are dying, right? That generation is dying, and there's about to be a huge wealth shift, right? Do you think that shift is going to be big enough to put any kind of wrench, in the kind of fix the middle class? Because that's basically what it is. We're getting rid of the middle class, and we're getting back to the haves and the have-nots, the rich, the poor, and stuff. And that's why they're building more projects around and redeveloping so many land all over the country. What do you think needs to be done to slow that down? Or do you think the wealth transition that's about to happen with so many boomers, in their old elderly age, would that change anything? Or would it just keep the wheel turning?
What you think, Larry?
I think a lot of things about to start changing now in the society because the way how technology and everything is now, it's hard for these capital companies to hold on because I'm seeing it in the music. I'm seeing it in the movies and everything. Remember, you used to have to go through Hollywood, go to all these auditions and everything.
Yeah.
And you get the parts or they'll blackball. But now you can just grab your own goddamn iPhone, make your own goddamn
and go viral.
And go viral. Put on there. And so so it is gonna change. So it is changing anyway.
But to cross that big mainstream threshold, you got to pucker up.
A lot.
Yeah. Now you got to pucker up. To get to that Will Smith status and all that stuff, you got to pucker them buns up.
But Will Smith
you getting greased the fuck up.
But they still I
do believe that.
But they're part of that old Hollywood system.
The old Hollywood is still running this system.
But this new generation coming out, they changed.
Tyrese went viral on the show.
Yeah.
That nigga said his OG. They clipped that his OG used to make that nigga bend over and some shit like that. Y'all niggas didn't see that shit?
I told him Shay.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, on Shay, he said his OG did what? Ben who?
Yeah, he said this shit clown shit. I said some shit funny.
I watched the whole interview. What the time? Who was he talking about?
Niggas like, yo, big pause, nigga.
Who was you talking? Who was you talking about?
He says OG was preparing him to go into the industry. So
he got raped by
his some shit. Nigga said some wild shit.
I believe it. He's so sensitive. He cries over it.
Oh yes.
Yeah, he said some wild shit.
Yeah, you don't like that sensitive shit.
No, I didn't say
she don't like that sensitive shit.
She don't like that sensitive shit.
She like a masculine man.
I like a man's man. I mean, it's okay to cry.
So what is a man's man?
Your mom died.
What is a man's man? Oh yeah, we all
We're
know.
talking about politics. We're not even trying to get sidetracked. We're talking because you didn't answer the question.
About what? About the president?
No, about look, he losing track.
About what we was talking about the wealth transitioning.
Ain't no transitioning going on. You talking about like I'm about to make a joke. I ain't gonna say that. I'll probably get canceled for saying that type of transition.
Probably true too.
But I mean, as far as the ruling class is gonna want to stay what they want to do, man. My belief is that there's always been a group, and they just pass it on down, and they fucking been doing their thing, man.
I don't think in our generation, because we're kind of like in the same bubble.
I don't think until
in the civil rights. You know,
I think
we won't see no big movement like that in our generation.
I don't think until we change our mindset. I think until we change our mindset completely, and I don't ever see that happening in our lifetime. Not in our lifetime, because things like that, you got to change that. We got to die. Like niggas got to die off, and let the next generation with a different mindset grow up.
And that's what's going on right now. That different mindset is coming in.
This is worse though. Like this mindset is This mindset is wearing fucking prison clogs and shit.
They talking about
I
crashing
know.
out.
I know.
Crashing out. That's the new term now.
Crashing out.
Yeah.
I don't think they crashing out. I think a lot of them. I think they're gonna crash. All right, yeah. I think they're gonna crash shit. They're gonna crash the system. Yeah, they're gonna crash the system because everybody's gonna try to do computer things because don't nobody want to work. Really, there's not gonna be anybody to do construction work, real work. In a while.
It's not that no one wants to work. No one wants to work for stuff that we're not getting paid for. And like, no, there's no work-life balance. Because if you go,
you getting paid.
Other countries, right? Since he's been talking about Africa, right? Let's just talk about that whole continent. There is a work-life balance. Like even at a certain time, things do close down, and it's time for socialization. Like that is part of the system. But I'm saying in America, we don't have that. It's grind.
Yeah,
oh, you want to socialize? I'm getting to the bag. I'm getting to the money. Like ain't no one actually like it's all selfishness.
But isn't that part of our convenience plan? Like we bought the convenience plan, and who is going to run that convenience plan? Us. Like we take advantage. I mean,
hold on. You just said you like Trump and all that free money he gave you.
I still like it.
But that's part of the problem. That is part of the economic problem that we got is all that free fucking money. Nobody wants to work for their shit. Everybody wants the government to give them free money and then turn around and talk about somebody else that's getting free fucking money. You understand? Everybody got that free money, cannot say shit about anybody getting food stamps. Especially if you got that 20,000. I don't give a fuck if you have business or not. Because that's not capitalism. That's socialism. That was a socialistic move. You might as well be a socialistic country and just give everybody everything because that's what the fuck. People don't want capitalism, really. People want to be baby. People really want.
But I feel like that's the government's fault. Like they raised us like that.
That's what they wanted, though.
Yeah, they raised us like that, so that's why we're continuing it. But
under control.
Go ahead.
Do you think possibly? Like wrenches in there. Do you think possibly that what we're experiencing is just a byproduct of a weakness that we got to develop, whether it be individually or as a group? But at the end of the day, it's like, if you're saying people don't want to work, but the other side is that, well, maybe they don't understand, they don't know how to raise their value to negotiate better. So when you have like personal self-esteem and you have self-confidence, all those things that you deal with on a because listen, we talking about people.
Yeah.
We're not talking about robots.
Yeah.
So if you're talking about people, you got to talk about real people experience, nervous system, psychology, sociology, how the brain works, neurology, all that stuff. So if that's the case, if I don't have this self-esteem, if I don't have a self-awareness, if I haven't been taught all this, then how would I negotiate the thing that I relentlessly mastered to package it up and sell it to somebody else who wants it? And that's where you get this divide of individuals who do extremely well, because somewhere in there, whether it be they were raised that way or they saw it or it's innate, everybody know a hustler. Somewhere in there was like, yo, I'm going to master a thing and then be proud enough of it to sell it to somebody for a dumb amount of money, versus somebody that says, you're not paying me enough for my minimum wage.
I ain't gonna lie, some of them motherfuckers getting overpaid to work with me. I swear to God. But I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. I'm kind of like in between. Because my thing, I'm always lukewarm, man. I'm a Pisces. I go in all directions at all times. There you go. With me, it's about. The problem is we have a capitalism teaches too much individualism.
Yes.
To succeed in a productive society, everybody works together.
Yes.
And I'm not saying that's a communist society. Why is democracy so good versus? I think whatever works for the mindset of the people that's working with it. And what we all know is teamwork works. You know what I'm saying? That's why when people get married, they tend to have a better credit rating income versus a person that's single.
Yeah.
You got two incomes.
And then you got another person watching that other motherfucker. Like, what are you doing? Come here. No, you can't buy that. You understand what I'm saying? So it's checks and balances. So we know teamwork works, but we don't practice teamwork unless you play for NFL pro team. And as soon as they leave as soon as they get off the damn court, they individuals.
Yeah.
We got to stay team like in third world countries.
So
you got to stay team involved, and that would change the whole society.
Which goes back to what you said about the morals.
That would change democracy. That would have to change democracy. That would have to phase in between democracy, communism, and socialism, all wrapped up in one. And for that to happen, it's going to have to change. But the Democratic Republic is just a political party.
Yeah, we're Democratic.
Yeah, but we're supposed to be a democracy.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? But the thing about it is a democracy the best form? A democracy is great, but maybe not necessarily in a capitalistic economy. You understand what I'm saying?
Let me throw this out there.
Go ahead.
See if this makes you guys see that. So, do you think that a lot, like we can get on the same, because we kind of talked about like that balance between individualism and collectivism.
Yeah.
And I agree, there has to be balance in everything.
Yep.
Do you think possibly that some of the stuff can be relieved if at least the majority of us, of human beings, can all agree that these behaviors is definitely going to kill us? Like, can we just all agree on the things that will kill us? Because at the end of the day, nature is surviving.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. But the problem is, none of us agree on what will kill us.
Yeah,
one person's scared of this, the other person's doing it like grabbing their nuts.
Yeah.
It's like our thrill into our thrill seekers and our risk takers mixed in with our cautious individuals who really have a real strong hold on survival. They don't get along that well. And I think what happens is you got two complete different programs about what is safe.
Yep.
And so I think if we can just get to some parameter, something in this box, we all agree that you will die.
Yeah.
I bet you.
Yeah. We'll die.
So let's look at all of our behaviors and actions cannot cater to these. Like we cannot cater to that.
Treaties. Isn't that why the UN?
But the thing is, you got to have the
collectively agreed. Don't have missiles, even though we do, and other countries do. Don't try to kill us with your missile because it's gonna start. Everyone knows if China and America and Russia decide to start pewing at each other, it's over for everybody.
So what you're expressing is humanity. And you can't control humanity. Because you can't control nature.
No.
And humans are part of nature.
Yep.
So we can bust and express and flower and expand and retract, and we vibrationally do the same thing everything else in the universe does. Yep. And we over here talking about why can't we all just be the same? And then you lose all your color and you lose all your excitement and you lose all your like you gotta have all. That's what art is.
You gotta have variety.
You gotta have art, man. Life is art.
Yeah. Chaos is art.
So who we slapping?
Or chaos sometimes.
So who we slapping again?
Everybody.
Everybody.
Just line them up and just
slap.
Man. So what would be your ideas? Listen, man, I love this idea, but what would be your idea of how to change that type of mindset?
I think first, Larry. How do we change our mindset?
I don't think there's no way to change anybody's mindset.
That's the thing about the arrogance of that.
Yeah.
I want you to leave you and come be me. And when you come be me, let you know I'm only me temporary. So then I'm going to need you to be me again because that's a totally different me. And I'm going to continually fight you to be me. That's the arrogance of being a human being and trying to change somebody and the collectivism.
All I can say is just give life experience advice to people and let them take what they take from it and make their own decision on the type of person they're going to be.
But I can't get from you what I want if I let you do that, though, Professor.
I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why the United States is always gonna have problems. I'm gonna read a couple things. What I was talking about, the ASML, the Netherlands, the microchip. It's an EUV lithography. Extreme ultraviolet light produces UV light only happens in space. Semiconductor chips. They successfully made this in 2019. The problem with the reason why I think the mindset will always, well, it's not going to change is a lot of things, a lot of advancements that we're making. A lot of advancements that we're making, man, is not to help us get better. It's for somebody to make some money.
True.
And when you start involving currency in anything, it goes down in flames.
Right, because it needs unique currency.
Shit got to be for free. Now, reason means this is fucking wild. This will happen in our lifetime. We got to start doing shit for free. You got to start doing shit to improve the collective.
But don't you have to have enough you got to have enough to give for free. And if your environment and your collective environment that you're in does not allow you to get to a point where you can take care of yourself, because remember, self-preservation is number one, and survival of the fittest. So if you get an abundance to where you can just give away for free, number one, how do you get replenished? Because that's unnatural. So you have to put
I'm not talking that way.
Nah, bro, like you gotta
I'm not talking about that.
You gotta sacrifice.
I'm not disagreeing. I'm just giving perspective.
No. What I'm saying is,
No.
No, your perspective.
That shit down.
No. I don't think you understand what I mean by free. It's not that I got everything and I'm just giving shit away for free. What I mean is we got to wake up in the morning
and bang out together. Bro.
And bang out together. Meaning being bang out together is I ain't going to work to that job. Our neighborhood, we need to build this. So hold on. But if you need some food, Miss Johnson got your food because she grow it. If you need this, everybody got this. Everybody's working together. What you don't have, I have, and what I don't have, so it feels like we all got it.
So what you're saying is
so we're either Amish or the Smurfs.
No, you're not. You're something that I don't know if it's ever been.
It's a utopian society.
It's a utopian.
In a way, it's not necessarily because we're going to disagree with each other, though. We're still going to have arguments and disagreements. Yeah, but if you need somewhere to sleep,
to get the next thing done,
you can go sleep right. Hey, man, I need some water. I need some bathroom. Yeah, go ahead. Oh, yeah, there's a guy already in there. Yeah, he was just passing by. Go on and let him.
But isn't that what it used to be?
No.
We had no choice.
It was that.
No choice.
Yeah, the military was making you. Yeah. In the colonial times, there was a law that if you was a soldier in colonial times, the governor, colonial army, if they was running around, you had to give them lodge and food. Yeah. There used to be law.
Okay, I'm talking even further than that.
Let's talk like the barter system, like
actually. You're talking about like Rome or Ethiopia.
Yes, we even further.
If I'm growing some tomatoes and some,
and I got some corn, we're trading.
I think that happens now. It doesn't. Listen, I'm gonna tell you right now. There is so much stuff I experience in my life that other people don't, and they try to tell me I don't.
Okay.
I'll be like, huh? No, you don't. I'm telling you the experience I had for myself.
Explain the experience, sir.
You know what I mean?
Go ahead with the experience.
But I'm not talking about bartering. I'm a little past bartering. Bartering is I have something you want, you scratch my back, I scratch yours. No.
I do it all the time.
I'm not talking about you scratch my back, I scratch yours.
You're talking about for the entire community.
I'm talking about a teamwork. Like we all.
You mean the thing that we're sitting in right now?
No,
this is teamwork. Yeah.
I get what he's saying. He's saying
I'm talking about we all like that. We know house. We all have a home. Nobody, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I guess the issue with that would be is like mental instability. All right. This is my other theory. Another reason why it would be hard for that, I think a lot of things that we've been eating has made or caused a lot of mental instability amongst Americans.
That's true.
Yeah. So there's a lot of, and I think since processed food started coming out because we're capitalists, I think that's why we have a lot of a lot of crazy, or people that can snap like, oh, I'm normal today, but tomorrow, you know what I'm saying? So that would be hard to just let somebody sleep because there's a lot of crazy shit going on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we know from the injections, to speak to that point, like the injections they give your baby, you know what I mean? That shit got mercury in it. And like, it's like targeting black boys, black male children. So I done seen it, and it can be reversed. But to your other point about collectivism and like not bartering but working together.
Yeah,
like,
it's a little past bartering.
I seen that shit. Well, I haven't seen it, but I know it was true whenever like there was Jim Crow laws and we couldn't go on the other side of the track. You had to stick together.
Yeah.
You had to stick together. So this is where they say like, what they call that shit? Segregation.
Yeah.
Was actually good for us. Because it forced us to look out for each other and shop with each other.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Look out for one another. It forced us to do that. So, post-segregation, pre-segregation.
So they saw that in the segregation?
We thought the white people's basketball game, baseball game was better. We thought, you know what I mean? Like, we literally left our stores.
We still do.
Right. And yeah, we keep going over there.
Why we give a fuck about the Grammys and the Tonys and the Oscars? Like, why is that your resume? You don't put the NAACP.
I'm sorry. I gotta advocate for the niggas in the room. Because ain't nobody speaking on us. And we exist like a motherfucker. Yeah. And we go on from here with collectivism shit right now in this moment. Broadcasting. With many hands made light work. And we in here talking like we don't fucking exist. But
that's what I'm saying.
Now, fuck y'all. I'm in the seat with y'all right now.
That's the thing. I'm sitting up here saying in my head, they must don't know how many connects that I have because of me just doing stuff for free. For people, I have so many connects. I mean, I have some herbs for free.
The way you're describing it, the way it's describing it is different.
It's totally different.
You wake up and you're like, oh, I'm gonna go tend to my garden as I'm going after my day. He comes and is like, hey, you got some milk? Like, yeah, here.
That's barter.
Let me help. No, I'm not getting anything in return. You just asked if you have it, and I'm just giving it to you. As collectively, we're just giving to each other without a second thought. Yeah. How kids, you tell a kid, you know, you want some candy? Hell yeah. They're going to take it. They're not thinking of what they can give back to you. They just want the candy. I'm here for the black cause at all times. I'm pro-segregation.
I believe what he's saying exists, and what you're saying is, I'm just saying, let's not forget we exist.
Yeah, I got it.
So I'm just saying, let's carve out a small little piece in our conversation about for the mugs that provided what we doing right now in this moment, which all of us put a hand in. You know what I mean? And we're doing exactly what we say don't exist. So how do you create something more of something you keep ignoring universally when you come to university?
Because it's temporary. What I mean by is all right.
What's temporary?
What we got is when we leave and go home, everybody's going to go to their respected home.
Yeah, but I'm seeing you next week.
No, but I'm talking about 24/7. All right, so this is what I'm talking about. A society where I'm good at growing tomatoes and vegetables. So I am the tomato and vegetable grower in my community.
You got them.
Okay? All right, you good at making beds, you good at building houses, you good at doing this, and we collectively just wake up, I gotta fix this for Miss Johnson, this and that, and you know your lane, you know your role, So when you go to Miss Johnson, here goes your thing for your medicine and this and that. And you go,
he forgot that this we've been doing on the block.
Listen, no, we don't do that shit on them. We give each other
crack on the block.
We give each other drugs.
No, I said this block.
No, I'm listening. You talking about this block? No, you talking about this block where we at right now.
Yeah, we do all that you just said.
Right here on this block. But listen, in the South downtown,
what square mile? Right. Saying it's 0.01 square mile.
A bigger scale.
So I'm saying this. So it sounds like you're impatient.
No.
Because anything that I know that happens naturally starts as a baby. And then it starts to flower.
It grows.
But you can't rush the process because we want to see what it looks like when it's pretty.
Definitely. I know how I'm thinking is our generation is going to have to die off.
Yes.
Generations going to have to die off. So I understand. But hold on. I understand on this block, but let me tell you how it's not actually complete on this block because you got to pay for this shit. You got to go downstairs and pay for those cappuccinos that I pay for that in the coffee house. And I had to, hold on. And I pull out No. I pull out a book.
For this shit, we
No.
pay for we ain't paid for shit.
No. But I know.
In other ways, we have.
But see what I'm talking about is bigger. It's bigger than what you're
No,
thinking.
it's getting there.
You got it.
Everything you got monetary.
It's not. And the reason why, listen, it's not getting there nowhere. And this is why I'm saying it's not getting there, because you're still going to pay for shit, because everybody still got their own mortgages. Yeah. Hold on, listen, because I can't turn around and ask Javon for this rent and then turn around and ask for you for that rent and then turn around and ask you. Then you turn around and ask for them and turn around and, if that's money. But what I'm talking about is not going to be like that, because money can't be involved.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
So
Hold on. Let me finish. It's not, but you gotta let me finish, because it's a big scale. It's a lane. Like I said, you grow tomatoes. You cut the lawn.
I get it.
You do this. And it seems like everybody's getting it done. My lawn is always cut. Your lawn is always cut. My house is always this, and this is always this. And ain't nobody
is always full.
And everybody's belly is always full.
So,
And we might even have a community dinner every Friday or Sunday.
So, ideal utopian, not to
It's
interrupt.
happened.
You're right.
It's
What story
happened.
does Baba Cash tell us? What story has Baba Cash known for?
The projects. What's like that?
Baba Cash.
It's the breaking of the fabled city of Poly.
Yeah, the fabled city of Poly. So you haven't heard it yet, but most of us has been on the block for a minute and sat and blacked out with Baba Cash. He always tells that city of Poly. So in that story, it's basically the same thing you're saying. Is like when you come to a city and you're looking around and saying, wow, everybody live in this utopia, how it work. Well, how it work is when you come in, there's 400,000 people in the city, everybody give you a brick, and you use 400,000 bricks to build this house, and everybody give you $1. We also have things like that in different countries called a susu, which they use a lot of that collective economics in order to come over here and buy real estate and buy property. All I'm saying is like everything you're saying is true, but everything I'm saying is true as well. It's just we're always looking at dominance. And because our brain is always adjusted to dominance for survival, what is the dominant thing that stands out in front of me? Or what's the dominant thing that I recognize or I've been trained to recognize? You're going to give attention to that. And then that's when you're going to start manifesting reality in it. But if you got somebody like on the block where my brother's running around and like he got them huge ass event popping off, and I'm like, yo, give me an apron. Has that happened? Mm-hmm. And I throw on an apron. I make sure my brother's straight. And there's no money exchange. And then I come back a week later with my whole family and I pay for my food. That's a mesh between what you're saying and what I'm saying. And gives you a new experience. But we want to repeat the past. It's boring as fuck. Yeah. Let's get some new shit going on. Let's mix the cereal up.
True, we do. But I feel like none of that. Like, it's a perfect idea. It's very...
You mean the one I just described?
Both.
No, that was true. I did.
Okay. So
it can't be a one-time thing.
It's not. We've been doing it.
You know what I'm saying? Or 4 or 5, 10. What I'm saying is, it can't be a 4 or 5. Like, I don't think they understand. Like, I understand what she's saying, but where I'm really going with it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no,
I understand what you're saying.
But I'm saying,
but it can't be a one-time thing.
No, example like how the Black Panthers did it. You know, like ideally, what he's talking about, what the Black Panthers did, but it was thrown. Yeah.
What's the lady that took over Philly? What was her name?
I know who you're talking about.
She barricaded the whole neighborhood for like 2 or 3 weeks.
Exactly. Ideally, that's what it would work, but we would have to take something humanly out of us, which is one self-control. Control of like our own free will. That's what I'm trying to think. We would have to take away free will, and we would have to take away selfishness.
Could it be, instead of taking away free will, it could be just discipline for something that you value in yourself?
I like that. That's good. But that's not how everyone. That's why I said you have to take away.
Depending on what it is, because there's things that you will gain discipline for because the idea of what you want is greater than your current situation.
Bible story: Cain and Abel. They weren't doing nothing.
I'm talking about you personally.
You're talking about me personally.
Like your story is mine. You're a human being just like me.
Exactly.
So whenever I say there's times in our lives where we actually had to give up. We had to build a discipline because the idea of what we wanted to be was greater than our current state. Yeah. So really it's, like I said before, maybe where we got to start is everybody just agree to not die this way. And that leaves you some room to kind of flower and have your own artistic idea of life rather than everybody trying to adopt somebody else's reality, which is mostly built off fear anyway. I may not be scared of the same shit you're scared of. Why I gotta have the same rules?
Exactly.
But we can figure out a way to get along if we can just see the humanity in everybody and grow the fuck up and know that you have duality. Good and bad. You can't have light without dark.
Cannot.
So if you can't have light without dark, you can't have anger, happiness without anger. You can't have violence without creation. So why are we mad about war when we gotta have war for creation? Yep. On every level of universal spectrum.
The problem is when war is continuing and it's escalating.
It's every day, all day.
Going on.
It's
and
just like
more bad is coming out than good.
That's not true. It can't happen universally.
It is true. And it is happening.
And the reason why
and it's proof out there.
Now I'm gonna tell you
That's
why
happening.
the proof is in universal law. And unless you're telling me that you're about to rewrite universal law right now in front of me,
Terrence Howard is trying to do the shit.
Why not?
I mean, the fuck
But,
y'all.
but,
Like,
nah, but it proves
I had to throw
you
something in.
all have to
I had to throw something in. And listen, man, if you sit there and listen to some of them folks, man, a lot of stuff that they've been teaching us is insane.
Say that shit again.
A lot of stuff they've been teaching us is insane, man. So if you really want to go on, a wild playing field, man, I wouldn't even give any of that European education in as any type of leverage or reverence.
Fact.
You got to really start from scratch and start your own thing. And I like what you're talking about. What you doing? You understand what I'm saying? Going, putting on the apron and coming back.
I'm on some Michael Jackson shit.
You know some Billie Jean. Both. Hey, I think everybody got key points. And shit, man, it's going on.
Yeah.
The 2 hour mark, man.
Yeah.
So I think everybody in here are highly intelligent. Y'all might be called what kind of all right? Black people, Afro-Americans, Africans, what?
all of it.
All of the above, human beings.
All of it.
All of it.
Father, brother, uncle,
mother.
Yeah.
Like the feminine version of all of it.
So we're gonna get ready to get out of here, man. This great conversation. I hope y'all know who to vote for.
None of them.
Trump, Kamala, and I hope we educated y'all on some of the things, and I hope we gave y'all some ideas. You can wake up in the morning, maybe implement some of them in your daily lifestyle on treating people much better. Change mind frames. Don't go killing anybody, but let the other generation die off too fast. But let's stick together. Let's love each other. And shit, we're about to sign out, man. Yeah. Real Man Restores. We out. Peace. Yeah. Peace. That's 2 hours. I had to make sure I catch that.